So we're about to roll out to Florida. You know, we got two tournaments down there. We start at the Harris Chain, and then we end up at St. John's, and we got to have some good finishes. We just have to. And the reason being is not a great start in Texas, you know. So we got to make up some points. The thing that I'm most excited about Florida is I've fished down there a little bit in April, and it's a lot different than it is in February. Everything's more stable. The fish aren't as worried about spawning, and you're going to see some spawners get caught, no doubt, but the majority of them are done and they're in there, you know, they're ready to eat. But on the Harris Chain, there's a lot of water, and the last time we were there, the first time I'd ever been there, you know, I caught them. I did pretty good. I had a decent, respectable finish, I guess you should say, and I caught them all, for the most part, garden fry, swimming a jig. So I really don't know how I'm gonna attack it until I actually get there and see what the water looks like, see if there's any grass, see how good fishing is. So that's gonna have to be all developed during practice. But, you know, to start off, it's not going to be one of those for me where, you know, you're looking for fish on bed the whole time, and you know, your whole mind is targeted around the spawn. It's going to be more so targeted around fish that's set up. So we're going to jump on the unit here and just kind of walk you through what the Harris Chain is about, the options, and you know, maybe my kind of a beginning of a game plan that I'm going to have. So the Harris Chain, you know, is made up of all of these lakes here, and there's way more water than it actually looks. This is Takeoff, Lake Harris, Little Harris, Eustis. I think this is Griffin, and then over here you have Dora, and you know, I don't even know what these little lakes are, but typically, for some reason, this one is always known as the Grass Lake. This one, these two, you know, these are easy to bounce back and forth. That's kind of your main body, and then Dora, and these over here. For some reason, a lot of the tournament finishes, you know, you hear about the college and these other tournaments. For some reason, there's a lot of events that's won in this area here, and I don't have enough experience down there to know why. But as you can see, it's a super flat lake. You know, it's not much different. 12 or 15 foot out in the middle, just a bowl, which is typical of most lakes in Florida. And then around the edge, you know, is where it gets shallower. The good thing is it's not like Okeechobee, where, you know, it goes 4 foot for 300 yards and then 3 foot. This one actually, you know, kind of has a little edge to it, which is going to create some shell beds and things like that. And that's one of the things I think is going to be super popular is just the fish that's already spawned that's out on shell beds. But Kissimmee grass, there's a lot of Kissimmee grass around the edge of these things, and we should intercept some sort of my guess is shad spawn or bluegill spawn. You know, I think as of right now, my plan is I'm gonna spend the first day here and just see how good the grass fishing is, see how consistent it is, because that's a pretty good run. You have to go through a lock to be able to get there. So I'll probably spend the first day there, and then kind of go from that. But a lot of options, and the good thing about this chain is it can be won anywhere. So practice is a wrap, and you know, as you guys seen from the video, fishing is not easy. You know, I figured out how to catch some, I think. I had to ride off Lake Griffin. There's just, the grass didn't look right. It's like they sprayed it or something. And you know, the thing, kind of the rule about grass fishing for me is, you know, you fish for hours, you get a bite. When you get a bite, you're supposed to be able to fish in that area and find a group of fish. And you know, when I would get a bite, there wasn't any groups. And for that long of a run, you know, after seeing how tough fishing was, I decided I was going to stay in the Takeoff Lake and spend my entire day fishing and just grind it out. So that's what we're going to do. We got to catch some we got to be able to catch some on the shad spawn. You know, spinner baiting, swimming and jig, frogging maybe. And then we gotta, I mean, literally gotta figure something else out. I don't know what it's gonna be, if I can just, if those fish are gonna stay up there or if they're gonna pull out, but we're gonna have to figure something out for sure. But that's the game plan, is we're gonna start with that, just shad spawn, and then really just try to figure it out during the tournament. So we're gonna wrap up St. John's. We're actually, it's been a while. I'm setting a few pockets down from where I won the Classic on Hartwell. It's been that busy of a spring. But great finish in Harris chain, great finish. Pretty proud of myself on that deal. You know, the shad spawn deal worked okay, but I was able to find something in the tournament, you know, the outside grass line, and made it work. And I kind of lost them the last day, but still ended up with a great finish. And that happens a lot, you know, for you guys that's watching this, that fish tournaments, it doesn't always go in the event like you think it's going to go. It doesn't always, you know, you catch them fish in boathouses in practice, and a lot of times you have to change. And to be honest with you, those are some of the better tournaments that I have. I feel like after practice, whenever I'm like, man, I'm dialed on this one. Day in, day out, those don't turn out good because you're just locked in. So I'm proud that I had an open mind. I did my shad spawn thing, got a few fish, and then, you know, a lot of those bigger fish came out there. And what I think happened was those fish were up spawning, you know, chasing the shad on the bank, and as it got up, they just moved. I think the shad kept spawning, and they just moved to the outside grass, and then I kind of followed them. Not all of them moved, because there was still a lot of guys that caught them behind the Kissimmee grass. But yeah, proud of it, and it was just a gut thing, you know, gut decision. Hey, let's go try it, and it worked. Top 10 in Florida, good in the points, or we're back to where we need to be at, and just hopefully we're moving in the right direction. I'm gonna jump on the unit and I'll show you how it went down. So we're back at the Harris chain, and this is takeoff. I spent most of my time in Lake Harris. You know, I did kind of squeeze over into Eustis a little bit, but you know, as I said in practice wrap up, my thinking was I wasn't on a lot. I wanted to spend my whole day fishing, and fishing was tough, and that's the main reason that I stayed in the area. It was kind of one, actually it wasn't kind of one, it was one pretty much how I thought it was going to be. Somebody found a hot shell bed and was able to sit on it for several days. And you know what happens is, a lot of times you think offshore stuff as being out here in the middle of these lakes. There's not a lot out there. You know, I think, and I'm not really familiar with it, but I think a lot of your shell bed is actually just up around, you know, where the contours get tight. You know, a lot of it is in the mouths of these canals, these bigger canals where current flows in and out. Be a lot of fish caught there, but I'm not exactly sure where it was won. I want to say it was somewhere in this area, because like I said, we've been so busy I haven't even kept up with what is going on. But you know, the thing about it is water flows through all of this, so it's a lot of times it's moving based on wind or current, and so you get a lot of these corners. That's where a lot of these fish get caught, and that's how the event was won. But we're proud, top 10.